The year is 1676. Your name is Mary Rowlandson. You are a Puritan goodwife, meaning married woman and homemaker of the Reverend Joseph Rowlandson. Your home is the Massachusetts Bay Colony, an English settlement working to colonize this new world now known as North America. Relations with the local native tribes are strained at best. You have received word of war between the English colonists and natives. You prepare your home for raids on the colonies. These raids have been ordered by an influential Native American chief known as King Philip. Your husband is away, visiting local colonist leaders and asking for protection from the natives. On the morning of February 10, 1676, 3 local tribes, the Narragansett, Nipmuc, and Wampanoag, storm your town, killing and kidnapping your neighbors, friends, and family. You watch in horror as your sister and her children are murdered. 2 of your own children are forcefully taken one way and you another. The smallest of your children remains with you, but she is sick and wounded. Fearing for your life and for the life of your remaining family, you have no choice but to do as these strange people say. For 11 weeks you remain in captivity. You move about the wilderness with local tribes being treated as their servants. Your young daughter dies in your arms. Rarely are you given even basic necessities like food, and some days you are so hungry that you fear you will starve to death. When the opportunity presents itself, you use the minimal resources available to make clothing to trade for small scraps of food like ground nuts and broth made from tree bark. Occasionally you are treated with kindness, but most days you are not. Your only solace is when you can sneak away to read your Bible. As a Puritan, you have steadfast faith in providence, which is the protective care of God. And while the dismal experience of captivity has left you weak and weary, you believe that this terrible affliction is but proof that you are one of the elect, meaning selected by divine will for salvation. This prayer and continual belief keeps you strong. On some occasions you see your eldest son. He confirms that both he and your eldest daughter are safe in captivity with neighboring tribes. While some natives lie and tell you that your husband and 2 children have been murdered, you hold on to the truth that they were alive, and you will someday be rescued from this nightmare. After almost 3 months in captivity, you have traveled over 150 miles through the New England wilderness and feared for your life daily. On May 2, 1676, you are ransomed and return home to your husband. There is little left of Lancaster, the town you once called home. After a few weeks more, you and your husband are able to ransom your 2 remaining children, and they are returned to you at last. Despite the fear and suffering you have experienced, you attempt to rebuild your life in the town of Boston, Massachusetts. 6 years later, you will write an account of this experience and become one of the first American women writers. Your captivity narrative is titled The Sovereignty and Goodness of God, and more than 330 years later, this work will be studied by high school students around the country as a classic piece of early American literature.